Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
That's it.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode. I always count on you. Episode what? Olesya, what's that today?
What is the episode, Yerma? What is it?
I want to say 7.
What?
7. I'm saying 7.
That's it.
I
That's
love
it,
it.
you
It's my
see.
favorite number. And this, I have no idea what we're talking about today, but this is going to be epic.
It is
That's
so
it.
great, because me, you, and the people that are watching us, we have no idea what is going to follow.
Well, that's what makes us unique. Uniquely extraordinary.
Wow.
What do we do in the beginning?
We let Olesya center us today.
Okay, let's do it. Closing the eyes. Connecting to the breath. Calm, deep breath in. And calm, deep breath out. Slowing down. And if you want, you can bring both of your palms to the center of your heart. Begin nourishing your heart with your breath. Finding easiness and presence. And finding what is present for us right in this moment. What is present for me in this moment is curiosity. It feels at the same time like excitement and anxiety, both at the same time. And as I hold both of those, I feel whole. That's the experience right now of wholeness. What's present for you, Yerma?
I have those butterflies as well. And I was just thinking spring and worry. I don't have my headphones set up today, and I worry that there is the sound that's not going to work for this. And I'm hearing the sound outside, and it's just like, suddenly it's the burst of spring, and every single bird woke up, and every single noise is out there, being alive, coming to life. So there was this feeling of being blessed, and also gratitude for the last few days that I got to experience. They were magical. I got to experience so much happiness around me. People just really stepping into their lives, bigger selves and creating dreams. And it's like, wow, witnessing that is just such a privilege.
As you were sharing that, you're feeling happy and celebrating the happiness of other people as a reminder for your own happiness. And at the same time, why are we celebrating just the happiness? What if we could really celebrate with the same freedom, the sadness, the struggles, the despair? Celebrating someone being upset, being angry, being sad, being frustrated.
Oh, every bit of my body rejects that.
Mine too.
I can't even, why would I celebrate that? I get mentally that it's all human experience, and how privileged to have the life that's filled with all those emotions. And then at the same time, I have it that we strive for happiness, which is always somewhere out there. I don't even know how to do with this now. I don't know what to do with this now.
Proof of we are conditional towards ourselves and therefore towards our emotions. It's like having two kids. One is always happy and we can connect very easily and celebrate that kid. And the other one is upset or sad or frustrated. And we're like, I'm rejecting everything about this kid. For me, the image, it makes sense, But I've never met someone as a human who can be so unconditional towards himself, being okay with his anger and celebrating it just as he celebrates his happiness.
I've been with humans, and I think myself included, where being with anger or sadness, I'm okay with it because I'm justifying it. Doesn't mean because I'm
Can you explain
right.
more?
I make it right. I mean, I don't remember the circumstances, but I can think of situations or people where they're like, yeah, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. Yeah, I'm angry and this is right because I get to be right. This is how I feel. This is my authentic self and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to be shitty and and that's how it's going to be. I don't know that it's authentically accepting and celebrating that. I think a story that it's more of a justification, wanting to be right, reaction.
Wow. I got connected to something as you were sharing. In fact, you are using anger to get away from something, to not connect with something else. Because being angry and being okay with that is very different than using anger to justify something. When you were angry as a child, how was your mom reacting to you being angry, or your father?
My first reaction comes, I don't think I dared to be angry. As a little child, I used screaming and crying out really loud as a tool to get what I wanted.
Boom, that's it.
And then I shut it down. But before it shut down, that was it.
Wow.
I don't even, it's the funny thing is, we could say it's the ugly truth, but I don't even see it as ugly. I'm like, it's just, I see it as a tool. Oh, wow. The little Irma just took it and got what she wanted by doing that.
Tell me, isn't it an ugly truth? It is something you go and you tell to people, you know what, people, I'm screaming and I'm getting angry because I know it will get me what I want. So it's a form of manipulation. Tell me if there are people who
it is
say
a form
that.
of manipulation. I see it now.
It's an ugly truth.
It
It
is.
is hidden. It's not something you're proud of and you're sharing with everyone.
Yeah, I didn't even know it existed like that until right now.
And you know why I recognized it in you? Because it's in me. I'm using anger, shouting, and screaming to get what I want. This is a form of manipulation. It is something that I use so people do what I want them to do.
Domination, then, right?
Domination, manipulation, for me, they are the same, from the same category, from the same family.
Okay.
So that means, no, we're not okay with our anger. We're not celebrating it. We are using it to get what we want.
Now I'm looking at I think to some extent, not always, definitely not always, but even crying and sadness is a motivator to get what we want.
I'm guilty of that. I'm using my tears sometimes because I know it will get me what I want. I remember this started in my childhood. When I would cry, my mom would stop screaming at me or would stop doing whatever she was doing that was bringing me discomfort. I would cry and she would stop it when she would see me crying.
I'd cry and my dad would get me whatever I wanted. And I'd cry and he had chosen me as the one. I don't know. There was always something about him and me. Oh, when he was around, nobody could make me cry. When I knew it. It's crazy when you think you're a little kid and you know the power you have in that particular specific moment and you use it.
Wow, so our emotions now became our currency.
Yes.
Like some kind of, we're buying what we want with our emotions.
Absolutely. I mean, there's one course that we took actually. We train our surrounding, we train our people around us without even knowing it, how to speak to us, how to be around us. There are some rules, untold rules. You do that, you get that with me. You and so if you think about the whole world of communication, I can see of adulthood, but I really didn't see how much how much of a thought and manipulation was already in the little child, and how all of that is conditioning and just add on by the surrounding, by the treatment of the parents. Really, let's blame parents. How original is that? But it's there. It's there, though.
Responsibility.
I knew I couldn't get away with me crying with my mother, so I wouldn't even bother. In fact, crying was not well seen, right? But when he was around, that was really good.
Turning back my attention to my kids, my daughter, she will use screaming to get what she wants. But the same beautiful, magical, sweet daughter would use crying with her father to get what she wants, because she saw and she understood very quickly that screaming doesn't work with him.
So she has both of your tools. She just knows where to use them.
And can I have compassion towards my daughter using that? She learned them from me without necessarily making myself feel guilty about that. It's a programming, it's a mechanism. It's the same with the headache. At some point, I started asking myself, why am I provoking to myself all those headaches? What is it? What is the message of them? Because we like to think that the headaches, they are just a phenomenon happening outside of our power, right? But we are so powerful creatures. We are so powerful that we are creating everything. And then I got to the root of it. I was creating the headache because I needed rest and I didn't know how to ask for it, and I didn't know how to give it to myself. So the headache would now stop me from doing anything and giving myself that rest.
Never made that connection. As you were sharing, I was like, wait a second. No, I had migraines. It would stop me, right? And they were frequent. And I haven't had them in a long time. And they happen maybe once or twice a year now, instead of 4 times a month or 5 times a month, right? But that is true. I do question. When I see it coming, it's not the question of like, what pill should I take to stop it? Well, first, because I know what pill to take now. But besides that, it's just like, what am I resisting? My question is always, with a headache, with a migraine, my body's resisting something. I gotta look for what's there.
What is the most frequent answer that you get?
It's different. I mean,
there has to be a common one.
Well, when you talked about resting, that was there because I looked at when I had the most migraines, when it actually damaged my health. I had a big health concern with those, and it all went south. It all went bad, right? Not suddenly, but it showed up as, whoa, big shock. And that happened when I was not sleeping. My way of being was tight and constant stress for years. And I was doing something, a business that I loved because it was drive and success, and it was addicting almost. It was an addiction, to new learning, all of the check marks that are mine. But I was not connected to music at all. Music was not in my life during that time. So the thing that the vibrations of the sound and the instrument that I lived with my whole life was completely out of that picture. So I can relate that I created this somehow. As much as I loved the life of business and having the success and having this aliveness within it, my body just gave me headaches, gave me migraines. I would not stop. Pills. And then boom, it gave me a big wake-up call with a diagnosis that was just not good. And that is when I stopped. That is when I was like, wow, what? You're telling me I have only this many years to live and I'm wasting it on that? No. So I don't know how to celebrate it.
And if you'd know how to celebrate them, what would you do? How it would be different?
Differently. I think if I could, and I will now be aware of this since this talk, so thank you for the topic. If I could really understand them, in other words, what triggers them, where do they come from, what they are hiding, and mainly, how are they serving me? Then, then when I'm angry, I'd look at it. I'm like, oh, here you are. This is what you're doing. Okay, come on, let's take it. Let's experience it. So it wouldn't be just a direct reactive rejection. I'd be really with it, and I'd be considering it as a gift just as much as the happiness is. So, yes.
At least bringing the quality of curiosity, right, towards it.
Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking, what are those feelings again? And I'm going to take on to look, because there's got to be a pattern on how I'm using them all and what they're saying. There's a communication within my emotion that's happening that right now I'm not aware of. I have not thought about it.
As you were sharing that for me, I had a lot of insights. Just 1 hour ago, I had my singing lesson and I was singing a beautiful song. And during this song, sometimes it happens that I burst in tears. I connect to something. And how it feels in the body is like an emotion arising, some kind of energy, and the emotion, which is an emotion, comes, arises, and then I just express it. And sometimes it's sadness. And today it was sadness when I cried. And I was verbalizing. Usually I don't verbalize it. I just cry and I hug myself and I'm with that. But today it felt like sadness and a bit of anger at the same time. I connected to how beautiful my voice is, how beautiful my voice is singing, and how much I would have liked and I would have needed when I was a child to someone to tell me, what a beautiful voice you have. I don't remember. Maybe people told me that. Well, I was chosen to sing in the school band. So from the whole school, I was the only one chosen. So I guess there was some kind of truth in that. But when we are children, we love to hear that. We want to hear those words.
As adults, we want to hear them as well, right?
And I needed that. And so it was like, why nobody told me? Why? But what I wanted to say, why my mom didn't tell me that? Because my mom is my world, right? For a child, the mom is the world. And I wanted my mom to tell me that. What I wanted to point is the sadness which brings the truth. And there's sadness which is used as a currency to get what we want. When I use my sadness, I use my emotions as a currency, there's a guilt inside of me because I know it's not who I am. It's not the truth of me. It's just a mechanism. It's just an exchange.
So you're aware of it in the moment?
I'm aware of it now as I'm speaking.
For me, sadness comes with feeling sorry for myself. So there is the victimhood that is so juicy and I love it. So I can distinguish that. Like, am I sad and I'm indulging it because I get to be a victim? And then that means I'm not taking responsibility for something. And for frustration, there is, or anger, when it comes out ugly, I can think of instances, it's pointing at something or someone else. And you asked earlier what it hides is not pointing at me. The anger is a way to hide whatever's here. I woke up this morning and I'm like, I hope it's going to be lighter today. And look at you. Oh, she has to read that stuff.
This surprises me too, because I feel like at this point, we don't have much control on what is coming. We become those spaces where whatever arises in the moment, it's needed in the world. It's like, it's just this subject. I had no idea. You had no idea it will be coming and being here.
No, I was actually, when you started, and I'm like, I have no idea where that's going to go.